Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, dear devotees, thank you very much for your kind association. Let's begin our study of Sri Isopanisad, Mantra 11. But first, we will recite our Mangalacharan. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः नमः ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिन् इति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे हो त्यांना सांग की माझा झूम सुरू केला मी सुरू डॉक्टर माझा जफाची लेख झूमले हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Hare Krishna. And let us recite the two mantras that we are supposed to learn for this module, the invocation mantra and mantra 1 of Shri Ishopanishad. Om Purnam Adha Purnamidam Purnat Purnam Udachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnam Eva Vashishyate Om पूर्णम अधः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ईशावास्यमिदं सर्वं यत्किञ्च जगत्यां जगत् तेन त्यक्तेन भुञ्जिथा मा गृड कस्य स्विद्धनम् ईशावास्यमिदं सर्वं यत्किञ्च जगत्यां जगत् तेन त्यक्तेन भुञ्जिथा मा गृड कस्य स्विद्धनम्. Let's go to page number 75 of this beautiful book, Sri Ishopanishad. Page 75 is Mantra 11. Bhagwan Shri Krishna Dvaipayana Vyasadev is writing in Mantra 11. Vidyam cha yastad vedo bhayam saha avidyaya mrityum tirtva विद्ययामृतश्नुते विद्यां च यस् तद्वेदो भयं सः अविद्यया मृत्युं तीर्त्वा विद्ययामृतमश्नुते. Translations and purports by His Divine Grace Srila Abhay Charanarvinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada. Translation. Only one who can learn the process of nescience and that of transcendental knowledge side by side can transcend the influence of repeated birth and death, and Amritam Ashnute can enjoy the full blessings of immortality. My dear friends, I would like all of you to pay full attention to mantra 11. This is a very, very important mantra. What Srila Vyasadeva is saying in this mantra is that we have to learn about nescience, which is ignorance, and we have to learn about Vidya, which is knowledge of Krishna, both, in order to get out of this material world and attain the spiritual world, which is Amritam. Now, isn't this interesting that we are supposed to know about Vidya, but we are also supposed to know about Avidya? That sounds very curious. To know about Vidya, real knowledge, is quite intuitive and it makes sense. But why should we learn about Avidya? Why should we learn about nescience? That is counterintuitive. But there is a deep reason why. But let's understand what this mantra means. This mantra means that we should know about spiritual life and we should know about material life, both. Vidyams cha, avidyams cha. We have to know both Vidya and Avidya in order to amritam ashnute, in order to attain the abode of immortality, deathlessness. Why so? Because to understand about Krishna and spiritual life is Vidya. To understand about this material world, what are the problems of the material world, what is the temporary nature of this material world, what are the anarthas or bad qualities that will keep us in this material world, what are the slippery slopes in this material world, what are the problems of this material world, unless and until we know these things, we will not be careful of the pitfalls. For example, Haridas, if you want to come from Smyrna to coming to meet me, and you say, Ādi Gadādhara Prabhu, I'm going to take 400 north. And I tell you, no, Haridas, there is a rainstorm, a tree has fallen, the road is blocked, the traffic is backed up. You take the internal routes and come. And I tell you the internal route to come. Now, when you start driving, you will be tempted to take the easy road, the highway. But because you have learned about the pitfalls of the highway, you will decide that no, I must take the alternate route. It is safer. There is no danger there. Similarly, we should know about the correct path, the path that we are supposed to traverse, and we should also know about the wrong path, the path that we have to stay away from. That is nescience. We want to stay away. And that is Vidya, knowledge. We want to go that way. Tamasoma, Jyotirgamana. But we should know what is darkness. Tamasoma means don't go to darkness. Jyotirgamana, go towards light. But we should know what is darkness and what is light. Because this material world will make us believe that open a Coca-Cola and it says open happiness. And then they say, if you love someone, give them a Coca-Cola. Does it make sense? If you love somebody, give them Charanamrit. If you love somebody, why will you give them Coca-Cola? What is Coca-Cola going to do on the path of Paramartha, on the path of their supreme benefit? Nothing. So the material world will make us believe that avidya is vidya and vidya is avidya. You are chanting, you've become vegetarian. How will you get protein? First question they will ask you. As soon as you tell them I'm vegetarian. Hey, where will you get protein? At 27 years, I have not eaten meat. I am surviving. There is no problem. But people will make us believe that avidya is vidya and vidya is avidya. Therefore, we should know from Shastra what is actually vidya and what is actually avidya so that we don't take the wrong path in life. Therefore, it is necessary to talk about the negative aspects of this world also. Sometimes a question comes that why not just talk about the sweetness of Radha and Krishna? Why not only talk about Vrindavan, Golok Vrindavan? Yes, that is very good. But in our condition, we also need to know the road that we are not supposed to take because of the dangers. Otherwise, we may be lured in that direction. To give a striking example of this is Bharat Maharaj. Who would think that compassion on a deer would lead to such a terrible downfall that Bharat Maharaj, being the son of the Supreme God, son of Bhagwan Rishabdev Maharaj, he could not even get a human birth. Can you imagine that? Could not even get a human birth. When a devotee dies, somebody who was chanting 16 rounds, was initiated trying to follow four regulative principles, we say, oh, he must have gone back to Godhead. If not, then at least he will get a great destination. He will get the birth of a very amazing devotee in his next life. From his childhood, he'll be playing Mridanga, he will be singing Kirtans. Oh, he's going to get a glorious birth in a devotee family. Would anyone have imagined that Bharat Maharaj, after whom the entire country is named, who was a pure devotee, who was on the level of Bhav, while bathing Shaligram Shila with the water of Gandaki river and offering tulsi leaves and forest fruits, he would shed tears. Bhagavatam describes. His hair would stand on end, his voice would choke up. He was on such an elevated platform of bhakti, and he would not even get a human birth. He is going to get the birth of a deer. It's unimaginable, isn't it? And this happened because Bharat Maharaj did not have someone with him who taught him about avidya. Such attachment to a deer that it is making you neglect your service to Krishna is avidya, my dear Bharat Prabhu. Wish there was someone to tell Bharat Maharaj like this, but there was none. Therefore, my dear friends, we need to hear about the path of avidya also, the path of nescience, the path of pitfalls. And we need to hear the positive things of Krishna consciousness also, the right path that we are supposed to take. Both knowledges are necessary. Both types of knowledge are necessary. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada says, since the creation of the material world, everyone has been trying to attain a permanent life. Let me ask all of you, raise your hand. Why do we want to live forever? Why is it our tendency to avoid death? Yes, Haridas?
Really, people want to enjoy forever in this world.
Yes. The question is why? Okay, Sudevi?
Guruji, I had the same answer.
Okay, Golok Vasani Mataji?
Yeah, Prabhu, they want to enjoy every moment in this life.
Okay, Arav? But why? My question is why do we want to enjoy?
Hare Krishna. The reason why we want to be in this world forever is because the jiva, the soul, is eternal, but this world is material, so it's not compatible.
Yes, very good. We don't want to die because it is the nature of the soul to be eternally happy. It is not the nature of the soul to die. Death is something very foreign for the nature of the soul. Ajo nityo shashvato yam purano na hanyate hanyamane sharire. This is the nature of the soul. It is deathless. So this experience of death is something very unnerving and very disturbing for the soul. Therefore, no one wants to die. Because anandamayobhyasat, it is the nature of the soul to seek pleasure, eternal pleasure. So everyone is trying for that. No one wants to die, nor does anyone want to become old or diseased. I have never seen a patient who comes to me and says, Doc, I want to fall sick. Or, hey, Doc, I want to get old. I want to become old. No, they always want to feel younger. They always want to be healthy. No one wants to die because that is the nature of the soul. The nature of the soul is not to experience janma, mrityu, jara, vyadhi, birth, old age, disease, death. A soul should never experience. But because we have accepted a material body, the soul is forced to undergo those experiences. Hare Krishna. It is like this. Parents have a permanent house. It's paid off, it's their house, and they're living with the children. But the child goes to college to a hostel, And there he lives in the dormitory in the first year of college. Then they have to go to a shared apartment with some friends, and they keep changing their apartment every year. Now this boy who started college at the age of 18, in the first 18 years of his life, he never had to change home. He was born in a particular home, he grew up in that home, but now when he has gone off to college, he keeps changing his residence every year. It's a different experience, something that he's not used to. Why? Because he's away from the parents. If he lives with the parents, he never has to change his house. Devesh, Prabhu can attest to this fact. This fact. Huh? So we don't want to, if we live with the parents, we can live in a permanent house. But if we go away from the parents, we may have to change the house again and again. So similarly, when we are with Krishna, we have permanent swarup, permanent body, permanent abode. There is no death. But when we are away from our Father, Krishna, and we are in this material world, then we are subjected helplessly to change, to change, to change, because we cannot own anything here. Just like a child cannot own dormitory. A child cannot own apartment. You have to leave when the lease is over. Similarly, we get a lease on life. We get a human body leased for 80 years, 90 years, like that. When that is over, we have to go. And that is a very uncomfortable situation for the soul. Srila Prabhupada says something very striking. Material science can discover the nuclear bomb to accelerate the process of death, but material science cannot discover anything that can protect a person from the cruel hands of disease, old age, and death. Is there any doctor who can give a medicine by which we will not become old, we will not have any disease, and we will never die? If there was such a doctor, then all other doctors will have to find another job. There is no such doctor who can guarantee that no disease, no old age, no death. We can accelerate death by producing atom bombs, fighting wars, AK-47s. We cannot prevent disease, old age, and death. That we cannot do. No matter how scientifically advanced we are. Srila Prabhupada gives the story of Hiranyakashipu. Raise your actual hands, not the Zoom hand. Actual hand, if you have seen Narsimha Mahavatar movie, Prabhupada gives the story of Lord Narsimhadev and Hiranyakashipu and Prahlad Maharaj in this purport. How Hiranyakashipu wanted to become deathless, disease free, old age free. Was he able to do it? I should not die inside my palace. I should not die outside my palace. I should not die in the day. I should not die. I should not die in the 12 months of the year. I should not die from anybody created by you. I should not die from any weapons. I should not die in the day. I should not die in the night. I should not die on the land. I should not die in water because my brother was killed in water. I should not die in the air. Foolproof insurance plan. But not from the Supreme Lord. The Supreme Lord can outsmart the finest material brain. That's what we learn from this story. Prabhupada explains. The whole point here is that even Hiranyakashipu, the most powerful materialist, could not become deathless by his various plans. What then can be accomplished by us tiny Hiranyakashipus of today? If Hiranyakashipu wanted, now it is raining in Atlanta. If Hiranyakashipu looks at Indra, Indra will immediately withdraw the rain. We don't have that power. But still, Hiranyakashipu was vanquished in a moment by Lord Narasimhadev. He was killed during Purushottam month, which is not the 12 months of the year. So very wonderful, Lord. Krishna's sense of humor is so amazing. Next paragraph, Srila Prabhupada says, Shri Isopanisad instructs us not to make one-sided attempts to win the struggle for existence. Everyone is struggling hard for existence, but the laws of material nature are so hard and fast that they do not allow anyone to surpass them, my dear friends. Recently, I took care of a 38, 39-year-old Hispanic male who had paraplegia. Means he was paralyzed waist down, and he didn't speak any English. So I asked him, where are you from? He said, I'm from Mexico. I said, oh, what happened? how did you get back? He said, I was a teenager when I crossed the border and came to US. I was an undocumented illegal person, and I was working in the construction industry, and I was fixing the roof, helping fix the roof, and I fell from a 15 feet ladder on the driveway, hard concrete. I fell on my lower back, my spinal cord just broke into two pieces. And since then, I'm paralyzed. And it was very hard because I was undocumented. I didn't have insurance, nothing. I had to apply for Medicaid and long process. Um, so I said, I want to pray for you. What should I pray for you? You know what he told me? Through a Spanish translator. He said, it's too late to pray. I wish someone had prayed when I was falling down 15 feet on my back. If someone would have prayed, that let the driveway concrete become soft for one moment when I land on it. Let it become like a mattress. And then I was thinking, look at the stringent laws of material nature. Material nature doesn't care you're a 19-year-old boy who has a whole life ahead of you. Material nature doesn't care you have loving parents. Material nature doesn't care you don't have insurance. Your life will be full of hardships. Material nature just doesn't care, my dear friends. Prabhupada says, laws of nature are hard and fast. The process so we should want to go back to the spiritual world where we normally should be because we are spiritual entities. What is the process? Prabhupada says in the next paragraph, the process by which one goes back to Godhead is a different branch of knowledge, and it has to be learned from revealed Vedic scriptures such as Upanishads, Vedanta Sutra, Bhagavad Gita, and Srimad Bhagavatam. These are the revealed scriptures. From these scriptures, we learn how we can attain the spiritual world. We cannot learn how to attain the spiritual world in any university or college, my dear friends. To become happy in this life and attain a permanent blissful life after leaving this material body, one must study this sacred literature and obtain transcendental knowledge. This knowledge we get, that we read Bhagavad Gita and then we come to know that, oh, man mana bhavamad bhakto mad yaji mam namaskaru mam evashyasi. Krishna says, mam evashyasi, you will come to me if you do four things. Think of me. Always become my devotee, bow down to me and worship me. Oh, then we come to know the path of getting free from this material world. But that is revealed only in the Shastra, the holy scriptures. Next paragraph, Srila Prabhupada says something very beautiful. Please look at page 78. From his kingdom, means from Vaikuntha, the personality of Godhead, means Krishna, sends his bona fide servants, means our Gurujan, to propagate his message by which one can return to Godhead. And sometimes the Lord comes himself to do this work. Since all living entities are his beloved sons, his parts and parcels, Mamayamsha Jiva Loka Jivato Sanatana, God is more sorry than we ourselves are to see the sufferings we are constantly undergoing in this material condition. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada is saying that we are suffering in this world, but Krishna is sad that we are suffering in this world. In fact, Krishna feels more sorrow for us than we feel for ourselves. Haribo. One day, my spiritual master was giving a Bhagavatam class and he asked us a question that in the Sabha of Hiranyakashipu, who loved Hiranyakashipu the most? Was it his wife, Kayadhu? Was it his children other than Prahlad? What about his ministers, his bodyguards, his soldiers? Who loved Hiranyakashipu the most? As he was being ripped apart, he was being shredded by the nails of Lord Narasimhadev. Who was loving Lord Narasimhadev the most? Yes, Arav.
Hiranyakashipu loved Narasimhadev the most, or felt it was good, right? He brought him back to Godhead.
Yes, it was Lord Narasimhadev who loved Hiranyakashipu the most. Even though it was Lord Narasimhadev who was assaulting him and killing him and ripping his bowels apart. Maharaj said that it was Narsimhadev who loved him so much and therefore wanted to uplift him. So it is very difficult to understand Krishna's love. But here Srila Prabhupada says that Krishna is more sorry than we ourselves are to see the sufferings that we are undergoing in the material condition. Krishna feels sorry for us. That's why he comes himself. He sends his pure devotees as gurus and he gives us holy scriptures. Now, Srila Prabhupada in the next paragraph says, the path of avidya or advancement of material knowledge for sense gratification is the path of repeated birth and death. What is the path of repeated birth and death? Who can tell? What is the path of avidya? Yes, Ananya, what is the path of avidya?
Repeated sense gratification.
Yes, sense gratification, which is the path of repeated birth and death. As he exists spiritually, the living entity has no birth or death. This we discussed. It is not our nature to be subjected to repeated birth and death. Do you know in the spiritual world, there is no birth and death? So it's not that Yashoda Maya in the spiritual world was born at one point and Krishna was. There is no Janmashtami in Golok Vrindavan. Janmashtami is only here. Nobody celebrates Janmashtami in Golok Vrindavan because Krishna never takes birth. Then how do we know that he is Yashoda Nandan, he is son of Yashoda? There is a conception that Yashoda is the mother, Krishna is the son, but nobody has seen Krishna take birth. Because in the material world, there is time which has got past, present, and future. In the spiritual world, there is no such time, past, present, and future. In the spiritual world, which is completely eternal, there is no jurisdiction of time as we know it. Spiritual world eternally exists in the present tense. There is no conception of time. Imagine a world now where there is no influence of time. What is the influence of time? That 9 o'clock we have to end the class because we have to take a rest because tomorrow we have school, correct? Or we have work for the adults. This is the conception of time that rules us, governs us. Even though we don't want, we must become old. We must grow old. Hare Krishna. This is the influence of time. It is all pervasive, inevitable influence of time. In the spiritual world, there is no such time. There is no influence. Nobody gets old, and there is no deterioration that after a few years the roof will need repair, the air conditioning will have to be changed. No, the shoes will wear out. Need to buy new shoes. No, it doesn't happen in the spiritual world. There is no influence of time. Spiritual world exists eternally in the present tense. So just imagine a world where there is no influence of time. That is spiritual world. That's what Srila Prabhupada is saying. Death is compared to taking off the clothes, and birth is putting on new clothes. Foolish human beings who are grossly absorbed in the culture of avidya, nescience, do not mind this cruel process. Sometimes when you preach to people, they say, so what? There is birth and death. It's okay. Again, I forgot to disable the chat. The naughty fellas are perhaps chatting. Okay. So, sometimes we preach to materialistic people and they say, I don't mind taking birth again and again in this material world. I don't mind. What do you tell them now? You cannot say anything to them. That is the culture of avidya. Therefore, the culture of vidya or transcendental knowledge is essential for the human beings. Sense enjoyment is the diseased material condition and it must be restricted as far as possible. Unrestricted sense enjoyment in this bodily condition is the path of ignorance and death, avidya. So whenever we find ourselves engaging in sense gratification that is not connected to Krishna, we should know that we are not spiritually well situated. When we find ourselves browsing, spending time on the internet, doing useless things, we are not spending our time wisely. We are not spiritually well situated. So we have to bring ourselves back to the spiritual path. Sometimes we engage, and this is very important, please listen carefully. Sometimes we engage in useless thoughts. Useless thought means just imagining things. I'm a cricket player, I'm playing, I'm hitting runs, all, building castles in the air. This type of just wishful thinking, this is waste of time. We should not waste time like this in imagining useless things. And then Prabhupada compares the avidya or ignorance of different people to different degrees of temperature. Everybody has fever in this material world. Everybody has the disease of avidya, therefore we all have fever. Somebody has 100 degree Fahrenheit, some has 102, some has 103 degree Fahrenheit. And Prabhupada says when we indulge in sense gratification, we are increasing the fever. 105 degree Fahrenheit, 106 degree Fahrenheit. And when we are taking the path of Vidya, we are reducing the temperature to normal 98 degree Fahrenheit. Prabhupada says like that. Very, very sweet purport. This teaches us a very important lesson, my dear friends. Please listen carefully. We are part of a society, International Society for Krishna Consciousness. And when we come to Krishna consciousness, because we are very new, we have this conception that everybody is a pure devotee. Everybody is very great devotee. He's initiated. He's twice initiated. He's counselor. He's been here for 15 years. Oh, he's Bhakti Shastri. He's doing Bhakti Vaibhav. And we think everybody is very, very exalted. And then we put blind faith, my dear friends. And then we get burnt. We have negative experience. We feel cheated. And then we start questioning whether the process of Krishna consciousness works or no. We can learn from this purport that everybody has a temperature, everybody has a fever, Srila Prabhupada says, which means in a spiritual institution, like a healthcare institution, everybody is a patient. Someone has very critical disease, they are in the ICU. Some are on the floor, some are almost nearing discharge, like very great devotees. They are so healthy that they are going to be discharged from this material world. They will go back to Godhead. Some are almost healthy, about to be discharged. But some are still very sick. So all of us, my dear friends, we are all patients. We are all patients, and it is our Guru Varga, Srila Prabhupada and our Gurujan, who are the physicians who are treating us. But when we deal with each other, we should have that understanding that mistakes will be made. We should not feel, we should not think that everybody will be perfect. It is not possible because we are all patients. We all have fever. Some has 103 degree, some has 100 degrees. But one who has 100 degree should not feel proud. I am only 100 degree, you are 101. No, Baba, both of you are sick. Your fever also can go up to 101 anytime, especially if you become proud. So we have to take our medicine regularly and reduce our fever and keep it like that. So this is a very important thing we learn. Srila Prabhupada says something very beautiful again. The path in the next paragraph, the path of Vidya is most perfectly presented in Srimad Bhagavatam, which means after doing Bhakti Shastri, we have to start Bhakti Vaibhav because that is a study of Srimad Bhagavatam. The path of Vidya is completely described in Srimad Bhagavatam, Prabhupada said. And then to sum up the purport, Srila Prabhupada concludes with a beautiful verse from Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, second chapter, text 14. Tasmadeke na manasa bhagava satvatam patihi shrotavya kirtitavyascha dheya pujaschа nityada. Therefore, Shri Suta Goswami is saying to Shaunakadi Rishis, therefore, with one pointed attention, ekena manasa, one should constantly hear, shrotavya, one should constantly glorify, kirtitavyascha, remember, dheya, and worship, pujascha, at all times, constantly, nityada. Who? Krishna, who is the protector of the devotees, Bhagavan Satvatam Patihi. Hari Bol. This is the essence of all Vidya. All knowledge is there in this verse. What are we supposed to do? Ekena Manasa, with one pointed attention, we must hear about Shrotavya, glorify, kirtitavyascha, think and remember, dheya and pujascha, we should worship, nityada at all times. Who? Bhagavan Satvatam Pati. Bhagavan Krishna, the protector of the Satvatas. Satvatas are the devotees. Isn't it wonderful? All Vidya is summarized in this one verse. You like this verse? So beautiful now. Bhagavatam 1.2.14. Tasmad ekena manasa Bhagavan Satvatam Pati Shrotavya Kirtitavyascha Dheya Pujascha Nityada. Always. Not just once a week when we have satsang. Always. We should be hearing about Krishna, chanting Krishna's name, glorifying Krishna, thinking about Krishna, and worshipping Krishna with concentration, not absent mindedly. Ekena manasa. That is the essence of all knowledge. Let's go to mantra number 12. Andham tama pravishanti ye sambhutim upasate tato bhuya ivate tamo yau sambhutyam ratah. Andham tamaha pravishanti ye sambhutim upasate tato bhuya ivate tamo yau sambhutyam rataha. Those who are engaged in the worship of demigods. Asambhutim means the demigods. Asambhutim upasate. Upasate means worshipping. Those who are engaged in the worship of demigods. Asambhutim. Enter into the darkest region of ignorance. Andham tamaha pravishanti. Pravishanti means to enter. They will enter andham tamaha. Darkness of ignorance they will enter. And still more. Tato. Who means even more than the demigod worshippers. Even in the darker and more ignorant regions will enter those who are worshippers of the impersonal absolute. Those who are, because impersonal absolute, if you look at it, they're actually atheists because they don't believe in Krishna, they don't believe in Ram, they don't believe in Vishnu. They feel Vishnu is temporary, Ram is temporary, Krishna is a Mayic temporary form manifestation. So they're atheists actually. So the atheists go to darker places. So in short, this mantra says, my dear friends, those who worship the devatas, they go to the dark regions. And those who are atheistic, they go to even darker regions. Hari bol. Atheists are worse. Worshippers of Devi Devatas are little better than them, but they are also in ignorance. Why? Srila Prabhupada will explain in the purport. The Sanskrit word asambhuti, which refers to the demigods here, asambhuti, refers to those who have no independent existence. Sambhuti means the absolute truth, who is absolutely independent, Swarat. And those who are not independent, those who are dependent, those who are subordinate, they are called asambhuti. So one who worships asambhuti, one who worships personalities who are not independent, who are not supreme, who are dependent, they will enter into the dark regions. Those who worship nobody, they don't believe in God, they go to even darker regions. Now, Sambhuti will be explained in the more detail in the next verse. Sambhuti is the absolute personality of Godhead who is absolutely independent of everything. That is Krishna, Abhidnya Swarat. In Bhagavad Gita 10.2, the Supreme Absolute Personality of Godhead, Shri Krishna states, Name vidu suragana prabhavamna maharshayah aham adirhi devanam maharshinam cha sarvashah. Neither the hosts of demigods nor the great sages know of my origin or of my greatness, my opulence. For in every respect, aham adirhi devanam maharshinam cha sarvasha. Aham adir means I am the origin. I am the origin of the source of the demigods and sages. Therefore, they don't know me because they are coming from me. Thus, Krishna is the origin of the powers delegated to the demigods, great sages, and mystics. All these devatas and devis, they are getting their power from Krishna. Therefore, if we neglect Krishna and we worship only demigods, then we are not in ignorance. We are not in knowledge, we are in ignorance, darkness of ignorance. Then a couple of paragraphs down, Srila Prabhupada says in Bhagavad Gita, 7th chapter, texts 20 and 23, it is said that only unintelligent, bewildered persons driven by a strong desire for sense gratification worship the demigods for temporary relief of temporary problems. Kamaya staiste ritadnyana prapadyante anya devata. Lord Krishna says, whose intelligence is stolen, those who are foolish, they pray to the demigods. Because antavattu phalam tesham tadbhavat alpamedasam. Those who worship demigods, they get temporary benefits. Antavat means there are temporary benefits. They have expiry date, those benefits. Intelligent person will not worship the demigods. Rather, intelligent person will worship the source of the demigods. Shri Isopanisad therefore instructs that we should not seek temporary relief for our difficulties by worshipping the dependent demigods who can bestow only temporary benefit. Now tell me something, Kaushik Avanit Prabhu. Suppose there is a person who has a debt. They have a credit card debt of 25,000 US dollars. And you know, credit cards have a phenomenally high interest rate. Let's say the interest rate is 20%. And this person is drowning in debt. Should this person beg somebody to help him pay the interest, or should this devotee pray to someone to completely repay the entire debt and make him debt free?
Make him complete that.
Because what is the use of just temporary benefit? Ki this month help me pay the EMI. This month let me help. Then next month you go to some other person. This month let me help. Give me some loan. What is the use of this? This is what the demigods do. Let me pass this exam, please, Ganesh ji. Please let me pass this exam. Jai Ganpati Deva. Oh Lakshmi ji, it is Lakshmi Puja. Please, I want to make 6-figure salary. I am 5-figure, stuck in 5-figure. Please. These are temporary benefits. That 6-figure also will evaporate one day. And exams will come and go. Why do this? Why go to temporary here and there? Instead, let's pray to Krishna, who is Ishvara Parama Krishna. Krishna will give such a benediction that we will never have to ask for any other benediction to anyone else. Swamin Kritarthosmi Varam Na Yache. Like Dhruv Maharaj is completely satisfied. In Atlanta area, there is one lawyer, attorney, traffic attorney, and his logo is one call, that's all. So that applies to Krishna. One call, that's all. Just go to Krishna. Call, one call, Shuddhanam, Hare Krishna. Bas. One call, that's all. Nothing else. You don't have to call anybody else then. So this is the meaning of this mantra. That we should not engage in demigod worship, and definitely we should not worship the impersonal Brahman, because most of these people who are Mayavadis, they do not believe in the holy form of Krishna, holy name of Krishna, holy dham of Krishna, holy pastimes of Krishna. They say all of them are made of Maya. This form of Krishna, because he has a form, in the Kurukshetra war, he was bleeding, Baba. When Bhishma Dev's arrows were piercing his body, Krishna was bleeding. Bleeding means blood. Blood means RBCs, WBCs, platelets, plasma. Are. It's a material body, Baba. Why are you worshipping Krishna? Krishna died. Mahabharata says Arjun gave Agni to the dead body of Krishna. They say like that. So Krishna, what is Krishna? Krishna is product of Maya. Krishna's name, Krishna. The Supreme Absolute Truth has no name. How can the Supreme Absolute Truth have a name? Name Mummy Daddy give. How can the Supreme Absolute Truth have name? Supreme Absolute has no. So what about Krishna Naam? Krishna Naam is Maya. Acha. What about Krishna Leela, Vrindavan? Maya. What about Krishna's holy abode, Vrindavan? Maya. So they are called Mayavadis. Because for everything they say Maya, Maya, Maya. Instead of saying Maya, Maya, say Krishna, 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 Krishna. Hey! Krishna Keshava, Krishna Keshava, Krishna Keshava, Pahi Mam, Rama Raghava, Rama Raghava, Rama Raghava, Rakshamam. So therefore these Mayavadi people, they go to even darker regions of hell because they have no faith. They are atheistic. Demigod worshippers, at least they're foolish, but at least they're having faith in somebody. That faith in Ganpati will be transferred to Krishna someday. That faith in Surya Dev they are doing Surya Namaskar for good health. That faith will go to Krishna someday. At least they have faith. But Mayavadi, doubtful people. Samshayatma vinashyati. They are doubtful people. They have no faith anywhere. So they will go to hell, darker region. So that's what this verse says. And Srila Prabhupada writes a very beautiful verse from Bhagavad Gita 8.16. Abrahma bhuvana loka punaravartino arjuna mamupetatu kaunteya punarjanma na vidyate. From Brahma's planet down to the lowest planet, everywhere there is death. But in my planet, my dear Kuntinandan Arjun, punarjanma na vidyate. When you come to me, there is no death, there is no birth again. Shri Isopanisad, the next paragraph, page 86, bottom. Shri Isopanisad points out that one who worships the demigods attains to their material planet. You worship Somadev, you will go to moon planet. Still, but they remain in the darkest region of the universe. They still remain in the material world. What is the use? The biggest and the highest planets, few lines down, in the Brahma Jyoti is Krishna Lok, Golok Vrindavan, where Supreme Personality of Godhead Shri Krishna himself resides. Lord Krishna never leaves Krishna Lok, Vrindavanam Parityaja Padamekam Nagacchati. Although he dwells there with his eternal associates, he is omnipresent throughout the complete material and spiritual cosmic manifestations. Golok eva nivasati akhilatma bhuto. Krishna lives in Golok Vrindavan, but Krishna in his unmanifested form is present everywhere. Everywhere. Throughout the universe is present. So why not worship Krishna, who is present everywhere, who is our best friend, whose benedictions are eternal? But Srila Prabhupada says that there are some, on page 89, Srila Prabhupada says there are some pseudo-religionists, these Mayavadis. They call themselves Acharya and they mislead people, Srila Prabhupada explains. Last page, page 90, Srila Prabhupada writes, Shri Isopanishad confirms that these pseudo-religionists are heading toward the most obnoxious place in the universe after the completion of their so-called spiritual master business. They call themselves spiritual master, acharyas, which they conduct simply for sense gratification, Srila Prabhupada says. Now, who remembers what is the meaning of Isopanishad, the scripture that we are reading? In the first session, we had discussed Isopanishad. Isopanishad means that scripture that brings us closer to Ishwar. Isha means Ishwar, and Panishad means to sit close to Krishna. So this book, Shri Isopanishad, is supposed to bring us closer to Krishna. Mantra 13. Anyad evahu sambhavad, anyadahur asambhavat, iti shushruma dhiranam yenastad vichachakshire. Anyad evahu sambhavad, anyad ahur asambhavat, iti shushruma dhiranam yenastad vichachakshire. It is said that one result is obtained by worshipping the supreme cause of all causes. Sambhavat means supreme cause of all causes. And that another result is obtained by worshipping what is not supreme. Asambhavat means what is not the cause of everything. All this is heard from the undisturbed authorities who clearly explained it. Dhiranam. We should hear from the Dhira. Very important verse. Srila Vyasadeva is telling us that iti shushruma means hearing, shushruma, hearing from Dhiranam. We should hear Shastra from a Dhira. Dhira is a person who is Vacho Vegam, Manasa Krodha Vegam, Jivha Vegam, Udarupastha Vegam, Metan Vegan, Yo Vishayeta Dhira Sarvam Apimam Prithivim Sashishyat. We should hear from a Dhira. Dhira means one who is sense controlled, one who has control over his senses, one who doesn't get disturbed, one who doesn't get attracted and tempted by Maya. Such a person we should choose and hear from such a person who has control, who is Jitendriya, who has control over his senses. A guru cannot be someone who doesn't have control on the senses. Which senses? Sense of speech, the mind, anger, tongue means tasty foods, belly means quantity of food, and genitals means controlling the sexual urge. Only a person who is controlled like this and who is devoted to Krishna can become a guru. And we should hear from the guru and understand that anyad evahu sambhavad. If we worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is Sarva Karana Karanam, cause of all causes, we will attain one destination. And anyad ahur asambhavat, and we worship some entity who is not the cause of all causes, who is not the Supreme Personality of Godhead, then we'll attain another destination. This we should understand by hearing from someone who is a dhira. So we must choose a guru who is self-controlled. Srila Prabhupada writes in the purport, the system of hearing from undisturbed authorities is approved in this mantra. So dhira means somebody who is undisturbed. Remember we discussed the other day, how is one's greatness to be estimated? One's greatness has to be estimated by our ability to tolerate provoking situations. Hare Krishna. There is an example where Srila Prabhupada was conducting initiation. Gaurav, this is New York, early days. Srila Prabhupada was conducting initiation ceremony. And all these American boys and girls, they didn't know what is initiation, what is yajna, what is sacrifice, they didn't know. So Prabhupada was doing the fire yajna. And Prabhupada said, for the fire yajna, we need fruits. You know what the devotees did? They cut the fruits like you cut for fruit salad and they brought it for the yajna. Remember in the yajna how you have to get full bananas, full apples, full oranges. Bichara, they didn't know. They cut the fruits up. Prabhupada said, what is this? This is not, you have to bring whole fruits for the yajna. And there was one devotee sitting there and he's telling Prabhupada, Swamiji, that time he was Swamiji, Swamiji, no anger. A guru is not supposed to get angry. Why are you getting angry? You need to chant more Hare Krishna. Prabhupada said, good advice. Thank you. He put his hand in the bead bag and started chanting quietly. This is a dhira. Prabhupada didn't say, who are you to teach me? Rascal, 2 months ago you didn't know who Krishna is. 2 months ago you didn't know who Guru is. I taught you everything and you're teaching me now? Prabhupada didn't say like that. Prabhupada said, very good advice. I should not get angry. I should chant more. You're right. Okay, you arrange. I will just chant. Prabhupada put his hand in the bead bag and started chanting. Can you imagine Srila Prabhupada? He's a Brijvasi coming from Vrindavan. He has a darshan of Krishna. These are hippies. They're breaking the four regulative principles left, right, and center and instructing Prabhupada. Prabhupada, don't get angry. You need to chant more. Then your anger will go down. Very good advice. Thank you. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. This is Dhira. This is Dhira. Who's not provoked. Srila Prabhupada reminds us again in Bhagavad Gita, 9th chapter, 25. I'm not going in detail because we are going to study Bhagavad Gita, all 700 verses by Krishna's mercy. We will study now. So 9.25 Bhagavad Gita, it is clearly said, those who worship the Pitris or forefathers, they go to Pitralok. The gross materialists who make plan to remain, stay here in this world, they will stay in this world. And the devotees of the Lord who worship none but Krishna, they go to Krishna Lok. Here also in Sri Isopanisad, it is verified that one achieves different results by different modes of worship. Now, my dear friends, please look here. The take-home message from this is, we should try to ascertain where we want to go. If we really want to go to Golok Vrindavan and we want to have a relationship with Krishna, in whichever rasa it may be as friends, it may be one devotee was telling me that I really, 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 I don't know why, call me crazy, I cannot explain it, but I cannot help but think of Lord Narsimhadev as my child. I want to attain Lord Narsimhadev, but as a parent of Lord Narsimhadev. Whatever it is, beautiful. At least you know what you want. So let us all pray to our Guru Maharaj, to Srila Prabhupada, to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nityananda Prabhu, and Radha Krishna that please, we want to get attracted to you. And please make me one pointed. Make me completely focused on what relationship I want to develop with you, Krishna. And let us become little clear where we want to go. Whether we want to go to Golok Vrindavan to be with Krishna, or we want to go to Dwarka to be with Krishna and Rukmini Satyabhama, or we want to go to Ayodhya Dham, Nitya Saket Dham, where Lord Ramchandra eternally lives, or we want to go to Vaikuntha, where we want to serve Lakshmi Narayan. We have to decide what we want and we should worship accordingly, because here it is clearly said that yanti devavrata devan pitrinyanti pitrivatan bhutani yanti bhuteja mad bhakta yajinopima, that whoever you worship, the way you worship, that destination you will attain. So let us not be multi-branched. Let us try slowly, organically, let's try to become focused, and Krishna will reveal in the heart where we want to go. Okay? So we can all pray like that. That Krishna, please make me one point. And I want to know who is my Ishtadev. I want to know who is my worshipable Lord. And then let's become one pointed. Again, Srila Prabhupada, in reference to the mantra 13, telling us that we have to Shushruma Dhirana. We have to hear from a Dhira Guru, a Guru who is self-controlled. Srila Prabhupada says on page 93, unless one has received knowledge from the bona fide spiritual master who is recognized disciplic succession, one cannot have the real thing as it is. Lord Krishna tells Arjuna in Bhagavad Gita 4.2, Evam parampara praptam imam rajarshayo vidu sakale neha mahata yogo nashta parantapa. This spiritual knowledge is transmitted down in parampara. And we are very fortunate, my dear friends, that we are all in a bona fide parampara, coming directly from Lord Krishna and Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya. Every time Shripad Vaisheshika Maharaj gives initiation, it is so beautiful to hear what before every initiation Maharaj says. Keeping the eternal principle of the Guru Parampara and to expand the mission of the Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya, to expand the mission of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, I accept you as my duly initiated disciple. So clear what we are doing. So eloquent, Maharaj says, Srimad Vaisheshika Maharaj. What is this principle of Evam Parampara Praptam? How the parampara propagates, how the parampara perpetuates. That is very holy and very sacred. In the rest of the purport, Srila Prabhupada gives so many evidences that Krishna is the supreme Godhead. He quotes from Moksha Dharma, Varaha Puran, Brahma Samhita, Ishvara Parama Krishna, Sachidananda Vigraha, Bhagavad Gita, Vedanta Sutra, and Srila Prabhupada also quotes from Srimad Bhagavatam. On page 97, second paragraph, Srila Prabhupada says, according to Vedanta Sutra, Sambhuta, this word Sambhuta was used in this mantra. Sambhuta means the source of everything, the supreme God. Sambhuta is the source of birth and sustenance as well as the reservoir that remains after annihilation. Janmadasyata, Vedanta Sutra. That Krishna is there before the creation, Krishna is there when the creation is existing, and Krishna will remain when the creation will no longer exist. Krishna is the Adi Madhyacha Antyacha. He is the beginning, middle, and end of everything. Krishna is eternal. So Srila Prabhupada gives many examples that we should worship Krishna. And then we go to mantra number 14, but it is 9 o'clock already. 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. We have 5 mantras left. So let's stop here. If there are any questions, we can take, and then we'll begin from mantra 14. We may be able to finish Shri Isopanisad next session, or we may need one more session. Shri Isopanisad ki jai. Shri Krishna Dvayapayana Vyasadeva ki jai. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Yes, Arav?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. In this, in Isopanisad, it says that we should hear from Adhira, but in the Bhagavatam, it says I think the translation was Vidur told his brother told Dhritarashtra to at least become Adira. So is just like like a different word with a different meaning, or is it?
Dhira means somebody who is undisturbed, who is controlled, whose senses are controlled. In Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna says, Dehinosmin yatha dehe kaumaram yauvanam jara tatha dehantara praptis dhiras tatra na muhyati. Dhiras tatra na muhyati. A dhira is not bewildered by even death. So dhira is a person who is unbewildered, who is self-controlled. And Dhritarashtra was very much bewildered by the death of his children, by the loss of the kingdom and everything. So Vidur is telling him that you become a dhira. And a guru must be a dhira. All dhiras may not be gurus, but every guru must be dhira. Because being dhira is one of the important qualifications of a guru. But being dhira is not the only qualification to be a guru. Because dhira means one who is sober, one who is self controlled, one who is unprovoked, undisturbed. But it doesn't say anything about bhakti. So someone may be dhira, even a Mayavadi sannyasi can be very dhira. Shant, Om, Shanti, Shanti, but has no devotion. So that person cannot become a guru. So dhira is a prerequisite to becoming guru, but all dhiras may not be gurus. Is that okay? That makes sense? Okay. Yes, Bhavamai Mataji.
Pranam, thank you so much for a
Right.
wonderful class. I just want to go back to mantra 12. So you said that when he mentions the impersonal absolute, is it they're specifically talking about atheists?
It is talking about those who say that God is a power.
Okay, my question is in the 12th chapter of Bhagavad Gita,
Hmm.
it starts out where Arjuna is asking a question. He said, which is more perfect,
Hmm.
to worship you in your personal or worship you in your impersonal? And
Hmm.
Krishna says, it's more perfect to worship me in my personal form. And he says, I think it's in the 4th verse, he says, for those who worship me, he said something about for embodied souls to worship the impersonal form. He said the path is very difficult.
Yeah. Kle
So,
adhiktaras tesham avyaktasakta chetasam. Those who are asakta, attached to avyakta, means unmanifested form of mind, impersonal form of mind, they undergo a lot of difficulty. Very difficult to worship the impersonal form for an embodied soul. Yes.
so in my mind, I guess I'm always thinking like, I'm basically wanting to know, like, he doesn't say it's impossible. He just say it's very difficult. So, like in that verse, also in this mantra, he's saying that they go into the darkness of ignorance. So when they're in that darkness of ignorance, um, does that mean like they're just like hopeless?
No, so see, in spiritual life, there is always hope. That is one thing. There is no eternal damnation in the Vedic understanding of spiritual life because the soul is eternal and Krishna always gives opportunity. Even if Lord Brahma dies and the whole universe is annihilated and everything enters into Mahavishnu, again, when Mahavishnu exhales, there is again creation. And again, those jivas will get a chance. Even the hell is destroyed. Everything is wound up. Whole material existence wound up. You go into Mahavishnu. Again, you come, and based on your previous karma, based on your activities or desires, you again get a chance. So everyone will get a chance, even from the Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur writes in Jaiva Dharma that even from the Brahma Jyoti sometimes the jivas may come down. So they also get a chance to revive their bhakti. And we see so many demons, they get Sayujya Mukti, which means they get impersonal liberation. But then they get a chance again. Like Jay and Vijay also, when they were cursed, every time Hiranyakashipu, Hiranyaksha, Ravan, Kumbhakarna, Shishupal, Dantavakra, when they were killed, they got impersonal liberation and they again came down to take birth again. So there is, even if someone is attached to the impersonal aspect, there are different possibilities. Impersonalists are of two types. There are the Mayavadis and there are the Brahmavadis. Mayavadis are the ones who don't respect Krishna, Krishna's abode, Krishna's pastimes. They say all that is Maya. They fall down. And in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says they either become trees or stones or they glide down to hell for their offenses. Whereas the other type of impersonalist are the Brahmavadis. Brahmavadis are those who have nothing against Krishna. They are just attracted to the Brahma Jyoti. They just want to merge into the light of the Brahma Jyoti and just be completely free from repeated birth and death. I just want to be in the Brahma Jyoti. I want to just merge into the effulgence of the great Brahma Jyoti. They are Brahmavadis. Shukdev Goswami was a Brahmavadi. He was not a Mayavadi, he was a Brahmavadi. And Brahmavadis can be attracted to Krishna. They are Atmaram, but they can be attracted to Krishna if they meet a pure devotee. As soon as Shukdev Goswami heard from Srila Vyasadeva, who is a pure devotee, author of Isopanisad, Shukdev Goswami immediately got attracted to Krishna. So Brahmavadis have a higher chance of becoming pure devotees. Mayavadis will have to suffer and then they may get a chance. Brahmavadis, if they are very, very fortunate and they somehow have some respect for the form of Lord Vishnu from where the Brahmajyoti is coming, some Brahmavadis may even enter Shantaras in Vaikuntha, the mellow of neutrality. They may become a grain of sand in Vaikuntha, like that. So Brahmavadis can sometimes come up to Shantarati, but they cannot go beyond. Dasyarati and beyond they cannot go. For that one has to perform bhakti.
So I have another part of the question. So, like in mantra 11, where it's saying we should know both parts.
Yeah.
We should know vidya and avidya, the
Yes.
ignorance and the neshama.
Yes.
Is that in the same sense that, just to say like, okay, like for me, I didn't learn bhakti till I was 37 years old. So I can honestly give like a good testimony and say, yeah, I know this and I know that now. I mean, I don't know everything, but I can like honestly say that I've seen both sides. But what I'm trying to understand too is like when it says that we should know both, and it's also telling us that we should always stay engaged in the um, Krishna Kata, always chanting his name, always think of him, always remember him, come to him. It's like kind of like how do we get that other side of the knowledge, the avidya, if we're always enwrapped in Krishna? Do we like is it just good enough to say we can get everything from the Bhagavatam? We just hear it from the Bhagavatam? Like let's say somebody like for these small children that's in the class now, and they were actually born and raised in bhakti. So for them, it's like, as a parent, you don't want them to go out and figure out any avidya. You want them to stay here. Is it good enough to say, okay, you just study the avidya from what you're reading in Bhagavatam and just stay away? I guess, do you get what I'm trying to say?
Yes, that's a great question. And the answer is yes. Shri, when you read Srimad Bhagavatam, you will read about Ajamil. And you will know everything about illicit sex. You'll know everything about gambling, intoxication, meat eating. He used to do all four. You read about Chitraketu Maharaj, you will learn about pride. You read about Dhritarashtra, you will know what is attachment to one's own family, what is injustice. So everywhere you read about Kamsa, you learn about cruelty, selfishness. So Bhagavatam also teaches us avidya as well as vidya. So yes, we can learn everything that we need to know just from Srimad Bhagavatam also.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yes, Rahul Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Abu, in month 12, we are reading about like who are engaged in the worship of demigod enters into darkest region of ignorance.
Yes.
But there is another verse I read somewhere. Akashatat patinam toyam sada gacchati sagaram sarvadevam namaskaram keshvam pradigacchati.
So here, Ishopanishad is talking from the supreme point of view that by worshipping the devatas, yanti devavrata devan. If one worships a particular devata, one will go to the planet of that devata, that demigod. But if you look at it from the transcendence point of view, we are still in darkness. It is said that hellish planets are like being in jail with rusted, very rough iron shackles. Being on earth is like being in jail with silver shackles. And being in the higher planets of the demigods, devatas, is like being in jail with golden shackles. But it doesn't matter, we are still shackled, we are still imprisoned. So, therefore, from that transcendental point of view, even if we go to the planets of the devatas, the demigods, we are still in jail. So, it's still called dark region because whole world is dark like that. When someone like Bali Maharaj or Hiranyakashipu, Hiranyaksha, Ravan, they come, even the Devi Devatas, they are scared. Sometimes they have to run away. Devasur Sangram, we read 8th canto Srimad Bhagavatam, how the Indra was homeless. They changed their form and they were roaming around on earth like homeless people, the demigods. So they also face such reversals. Therefore, even the higher planets are no good. From the spiritual point of view, they are considered to be still darkness. Okay? So it's a relatively they are saying from a transcendental point of view. Like for example, mm, if there is somebody who is a beggar and they get $100 one day, and somebody gets only $20, so the $100 earning beggar will feel I'm doing great. But then someone who's a millionaire will think, oh, Hare Krishna. So similarly like that. From the point of view of Vaikuntha, the position of the Devi Devatas, it's quite abominable. It's quite abominable. They're still a short life, they're subject to birth, death, like that. Brahma Bhuvana Loka, Punaravartino. That principle. Okay? Kamaniya Krishna Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Babuji. Please accept my humble obeisances. Thank you so much for so nectar class, Babuji.
Hare Krishna.
My question is about what we discussed. One of the point you mentioned that here we do everything based on the time, and in the spiritual world there is no time. Right? It's a timeless. But being in a bondage body, right? We are right now bondaged. How we should contemplate that, because each and every activity of our life is based on time, right?
Yes.
So being in this material body, how we should contemplate that how timeless will be.
Yeah, Jaiva Dharma explains this that in the material world there is Jadiya Kal. There is the material time, which is eternal, and it is energy of Krishna and it degrades everything in the material world. In the spiritual world, there is Chid Kal. There is spiritual time which operates only in the present tense and it exists to facilitate Krishna's pastimes. Krishna, it's time to go to Radha Kund. Radharani is waiting for you. Go. Krishna, now it's time to take your cows and bring them back to Vraj. And then again, Radharani will see Krishna entering with his cows from side glance. And then Krishna will look in one particular direction, indicating to Radharani that at night we are going to meet in this forest. And then at night again, it's time to meet. So the time is there, but it is not like in the material world that, oh, Radha and Krishna have been enjoying for 5 years. Now they are no longer teenagers. Now Krishna has to go find a job. He's 20 years old. Not like that. Or, oh, now Krishna is becoming old. I see some gray hair. No. Our Shastra says that eternally Krishna doesn't even have mustache. Look at Arav. He's growing a mustache. So he's old. Older than Krishna. Krishna doesn't even have slightest growth of mustache. He's eternally 14 years old. Haribol. 14 and a half years old, like that. So Krishna is Nava Yauvanam cha. Very sweet, very innocent. Like that. So and he will always remain like that. So therefore there is no influence of Kal. Time is there only to facilitate the Leela. But time is not there in the spiritual world to degrade things, to degenerate things. I hope that is clear, Prabhu.
Okay. Thank you so much. Yeah. Thank you so much. Yes.
Yes, Asha Mataji. Asha Baddham Samutkantha Nama Gane Sadaruchi.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you so much for wonderful class. Prabhuji, I have two questions. One is we talked about nescence, avidya. So now I know the vidya, I mean the knowledge that we earn in this material world, whether it is in engineering, medical, this is all jada jnana. But is that avidya?
Yes, that is avidya. And so we should have knowledge of avidya has two angles of understanding. One is that we should understand avidya so we can stay away from it. And second is we should know avidya to survive in this material world also. Because to survive in this material world, we should have some knowledge of avidya so that we can work in the varnashram system either as a brahman or as a kshatriya or as a vaishya or as a shudra. That is how a householder will earn livelihood. So that is also one angle of understanding avidya. Temporarily it is required, but then a time will come when we will retire and then we will just focus on vidya. Like that. So both are there. Thank you for bringing that up. That is also one understanding. Okay.
Just one more. Yeah, one more is when Krishna says, think about me, bow down to me, and worship me. So, but why does he say that? This has been asked to me actually, this question. So I
Yeah.
couldn't.
And it's a great question, and we should understand the answer very nicely. So when Arav goes to school, do you tell him some do's and don'ts?
Yes.
Don't cross the road where you're not supposed to cross. Cross the road only when it is the crossing sign is there. And you know, when he sits in the car, you tell him wear your seat belt. When he has to take an exam, you tell him you study nicely. You take a mock test. You sleep early at night. Make sure you're well rested. Take something sweet for the long exam because brain needs glucose. That's the favorite thing about exams. I remember taking chocolates to exam because brain needs exclusive glucose. So why the parents tell so many things? If Arav asks you, Mama, why do you tell me to wear seat belt in the car? Why do you tell me I should not go out with strangers? Why do you tell me I should take enough rest? Why do you tell me I should brush my teeth 2 times a day? Why? What will you answer?
For their safety.
Because it's good for you.
Yeah.
So Krishna is telling us man mana bhavat bhakto because it is good for us. Simple. We will benefit if we think of Krishna. We will benefit if we become Krishna's devotee. We will benefit if we bow down to Krishna. Nama sankirtanam yasya sarva papa pranashanam and pranamo dukkha shamanas tam namami harim param. Shri Shukdev Goswami says that pranamo, by doing pranam to Krishna, bowing down to Krishna, pranamo dukkha shamanas, all our dukkhas will be destroyed, will be taken away, will be vanquished just by bowing down to Krishna. Just bowing down to Udupi Krishna, all our sorrows will go away. Pranam means to bow down. Pranamo dukkha shamanas tam namami harim param. ऐसे भगवान हरि को मेरा प्रणाम है जिन्हें प्रणाम करने से सारे दुख वे हर लेते हैं. सर्व अमंगल हरे इति हरि तम नमामि हरिम परम. ऐसे परम ईश्वर हरि को मेरा प्रणाम है. दिस इज द लास्ट वर्स ऑफ श्रीमद् भागवतम. भागवतम कंक्लूड्स विद दिस. नाम संकीर्तनम यस्य, जिनका नाम संकीर्तन करने से सर्व पाप प्रणाशनम, आपके सारे पाप नष्ट हो जाते हैं. प्रणामो दुख क्षमनस, प्रणाम करने से सारे दुख नष्ट हो जाते हैं. तम नमामि हरिम परम. ऐसे भगवान हरि जो परमेश्वर है उनकी मैं भक्ति करता हूं. With this, Bhagavatam concludes. Nama Sankirtanam Yasasi, it concludes. And Chaitanya Charitamrita starts with Nam Sankirtan. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya, Jaya Nityananda. Like that. So Bhagwan tells us, Krishna tells us to become his devotee, think of him, bow down to him, worship him, because it is good for us. And Krishna says this in Bhagavad Gita. He says, this is my param vacha, and I'm saying it te hitam. I'm saying it for your hit, for your benefit. Aisa. So Krishna tells us for our good. Just like a parent will give good advice to the child for the child's benefit. Similarly, Krishna gives us good advice for our benefit. Hari Bol.
Thank you.
Like if a mother says, Arav, come back to my house, eat food in my house, sleep in my house, shower in my house. That is exactly like Krishna is saying, Asha Mataji, think of me. Asha Mataji, become my devotee. Asha Mataji, worship me. Asha Mataji, bow down to me. Because we will benefit. If Arav goes to some other house, he'll be in danger. But if he comes to you, he'll be safe because you love him. So Krishna loves us, so he wants us to be with him for our benefit. Hari Bol.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Divya Mataji and then Archana Mataji will take as the last question.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. I had a question about demigod worship.
Huh.
I mean, I had two encounters with family back in India. One happened a few years back where one of the persons, like family, he's very like a staunch Hanuman devotee, and he objected to having kirtan at home, saying that if we're Hanuman devotees, we can't, we shouldn't be having, kirtan, Hari Kirtan at home. And and again, I had another encounter with another family back in India, and that person is aspiring devotee, but she did not like the idea. She did not accept. She got upset when I told her that Lord Hanuman is Ram Bhakta. So how do you? And she's aspiring devotee. So how do you deal with situations like that?
Krishna, now please everyone listen attentively to the response to this question. The question is someone has all these misconceptions and how do you deal with them? And the answer is in the entire first chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says nothing at all, which teaches us that unless and until someone is receptive and sincerely wants to hear from us, we should not share with them spiritual knowledge. It is like putting water in a desert. It's not going to work. So the person should be sincere, serious, and receptive. When Arjun said, Shishyasteham sadhimam tvam prapanna. Prapanna means I'm surrendering to you. Shishya means I'm your disciple now. I'm not your friend anymore. I'm your disciple. Now you sadhimam, you instruct me. Then Krishna began speaking. Otherwise, Arjun is speaking. I will do this, I will do that, this will happen, that will happen. I don't want to. Arjun is giving his opinion and Krishna is silent. Krishna doesn't say, hey, Arjun, what are you talking? Stop. No, Krishna is quiet. So, in front of such family members, such relatives, they may be aspiring devotees. You should keep quiet. Let your good behavior preach to them. But when they want to know, they inquire from you, they ask you, they're receptive, they're respectful, they're not argumentative, then you tell them. Otherwise, don't waste time. Leave them to Krishna. Pray for them to Krishna. That is the answer. Okay? And then Archana Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Dandavat Pranam. So I had a question. So in one of the lecture, I have heard that, only non-intelligent people worship the Durga. So we do a Durga Puja, like a lot of devotees. But then also Devi Subhadra, right? She's a reincarnation of Durga Mata or Yoga Maya. So, but then we worship Jagannath Baldev Subhadra. So does that mean that we can worship other Devi Devtas along with Krishna? It's okay to worship them if we are worshiping Krishna. It's like we are not saying that they are greater than Krishna, or Krishna is the supreme personality for Godhead, but then it's okay to worship others.
Lord Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Ananyas mam ye jana paryupasate tesham nityabhyuktanam yogakshemam vahamyaham. That those who are my one-pointed devotees. Ananya means nobody else. Anya means somebody else. Ananya means nobody else. Ananyas mam. Those who meditate on me without deviation, for them I am always there. I will protect what they have. I will preserve what they have, and I will provide what they lack. And Krishna also says that ye api anya devata bhakta yajante shraddhayanvitah te api mameva kaunteya yajantya avidhi purvakam. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, ye api anya devata bhakta, those who are devotees of other Devi Devatas, ye api anya devata bhakta yajante shraddhayanvitah, and they worship them with shraddha. Te api mam eva kaunteya. They are actually worshipping me only, O Kunti Nandan Arjun. But yajanti avidhi purvakam. But they are doing it avidhi purvak. They are doing it in a wrong way. They are doing it in an erroneous way. Because instead of eating like this, they are eating this, like this, something they are doing. Ulta pulta. Instead of directly worshipping Krishna, you are going here and there and indirect. So this is Krishna's opinion. And Krishna's opinion is the supreme opinion. Mata parataram nanyat kinchidasti dhananjaya. So we should worship Krishna directly. Now, we may worship and offer our respects to the great demigods like Durga Devi, like Shankar Bhagwan, like Ganpati, because they are all pure devotees. In Navadvip Dham Mahatmya of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu tells Simantini Devi, who is Durga Devi, that you are my Radharani in the material world. My Radharani in the spiritual world takes your form in the material world. And in the material world, I take the form of Lord Shiva, your husband. But you are doing a different service. So actually, Lord Shiva and Lord Krishna, they are very intimately related, like yogurt and milk, Brahma Samhita says. Kshiram yathi dadhi vikara yogat sanjayate. Just like milk gets transformed, vikar means to transform. Kshira means milk and dadhi means dahi, yogurt. Just like milk transforms into yogurt, Lord Krishna transforms into Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva is like yogurt and Lord Krishna is like milk. Milk is the source of everything. Milk can give you yogurt, milk can give you ghee, milk can give you butter, milk can give you ice cream, milk can give you paneer, milk can give you milkshake, milk can give you lassi, milk can give you ice cream, milk can give you kulfi. But dahi cannot give you all those. Dahi cannot give you milk. Milk can give you dahi. Dahi cannot give you milkshake. Right? So Lord Shiva is like dahi, yogurt, and Krishna is like milk. Milk is the original. Therefore, Krishna is Sarva Karana Karana. Milk is the cause of all causes. That example is there in Brahma Samhita. So we can worship Shankar Bhagwan, Durga Devi, Ganpati, these great devotees, because they are pure devotees. Surya Dev. Surya Dev is the guru of Hanumanji. So we can worship them, but we should worship them to get Krishna Bhakti. We should worship Shivji, we should worship Durga Devi, we should worship Ganeshji to get Krishna Bhakti. Yatpada Pallava Yugam Vinidhaya Kumbha Dvandves Pranama Samai Saganadhiraja Vignan Vihantu Malamasya Jagatrayasya Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Brahma Samhita also describes Ganeshji that Vignan Vihantu Malamasya Jagatrayasya. By keeping the lotus feet of Lord Govinda on his head, Ganpati gets the power to become Vignaharta. Vignan Vihantu Malamasya Jagatrayasya. He becomes the Vignaharta for all the three worlds. Why? By Yat Pada Pallava Yugam Vinidhaya Kumbha. He keeps on his elephant head the 2 feet of Lord Govinda and gets the power to become Vignaharta. Hari Bol. So we can pray to Ganeshji to get Krishna Bhakti. You can pray to Shivji, Durga Devi to get Krishna Bhakti. but we should not pray to them for material benefits. That is condemned. That is antavattu phalam tesham tad bhavatya alpa medhasam. Alpa medhasam means intelligence. Alpa medhasam means less intelligent. Only less intelligent, foolish people will worship the demigods. So like that, because they are dependent on Krishna. And we have a direct connection with Krishna eternally. Mamaya amsha jiva loka jiva bhuta sanatana. Now, if you own a company, you are the owner, founder, CEO, president of the company, and your own child comes to that company and starts begging the janitor for a favor. Why? Instead, just go to your mother. She owns the whole company. She will solve all the problems. Someday you go to janitor, someday you go to HR department, next day you go to a billing department, next day you go to the some other department. Why you are running here and there? For health you go to Surya Dev, for wealth you go to Lakshmi Ji. Why you are doing all this? Just go to Krishna. Anyway, your direct connection is with Krishna. Why are you doing it other way, indirect way? That is the meaning of avidhi purvakam. Directly we are related to Krishna. We are Krishna's amsha. Mama amsha jiva. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. So we should go to Krishna directly. If we worship the demigod, we should worship them to say that you are great devotees. Please bless me so I can become a one-pointed devotee of Krishna. Then that is okay. In fact, Srila Rupa Goswami writes in Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu that we should pray to Ganeshji like that. In every temple in Vrindavan, there is Ganeshji outside. I hope that helps, Mataji. Archana Mataji. Okay. Okay, so we'll end. It's very late. Thank you very much, dear devotees, for your kind association. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Shri Isopanisad ki jai. And please say Hari Bol to me so I feel happy. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.